Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, you guys. Congestion. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you guys can hear, I have a cold. I mean a cough. I had a cold another day. I have a cough now. And that's because, I think it's because I've slept without covering my head. Like so. I went to sleep without covering my head. So I breathed in the cold air. That's how I got a cold. But the other day I was realizing I would rather get coughed on my head by these kids than coughed on in my face. Because I mean my head has more protection than my face. Maybe I should wear a mask. Speaking of mask, okay. I think I have, I don't know, my mom used to say I had well, she didn't tell me I had a lisp, but she would tell me, pronounce your words the right way. And I'd be like, I don't understand. Or she thought I was talking like a spoiled kid. But I think it's just the way I talk. Oh no. Maybe sometimes I don't know. But yes, sometimes it's kind of, I don't know how to say this. But it's kind of not difficult, but I guess difficult would probably be the best word. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult to pronounce the S's. Or I have to sit there and really say it. Certain words, I guess. So that you can understand me. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this whole explanation, but long story short, I think my mom used to think I had a speech impediment. Well, not a speech impediment. I don't even think it's a speech impediment, but basically a lisp, which is technically a speech impediment. But yeah, I think I had a bit of that, and I think I still kind of do. Oftentimes I try to correct it. But anyways, back to the point. I was like, boys, and then I was trying to get their attention, trying to get them to calm down. I was like, boys, and then I was like, girls, and I don't think they heard the S. And then one of the girls was like, girl? Which girl? And then I was like, and then she was like, which girl? You said girl. And I think she was making fun of the fact that she couldn't hear the S. And then I was just annoyed, and I was like, I said girls. But I was trying so hard to say the S, but I guess it didn't come out right. But anyways, what else was I gonna talk about? So much blabber for that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, okay, yesterday was a pretty interesting day. Yesterday I had a pretty fun day with the kids. I was subbing for one of my friends. I actually went with this girl. I had a class at university with her. and we both became subs for the same company. And now she's like a long-term sub, but like a teacher without like the credential. She has a sub credential. Okay, anyways, basically she is allowed to be a long-term sub teacher for the school year, as long as she does everything, I guess, as a teacher would with the sub permit. There's a lot of interesting ways you can become a teacher, honestly. But anyways, she wasn't there for that either. She was always like, no, I won't be a teacher, I won't be a teacher. And then eventually she was a teacher. But now I'm her sub, like her designated sub. And at first, oh my gosh, the kids. I love those kids. She the first few times that I subbed for her though, it was very challenging. And it seems like it's getting better over time, and I'm getting used to it. But every time I show up, the kids are like, I'm the teacher's helper, and I'm like, I know you guys are the teacher's helper, like I've been here how many times. But anyways, yeah, yesterday they actually had a pretty good day. They had a lot to do, and so yeah, I don't know, they're different than a lot of kids. Okay, they're first grade. Now kindergarten is a whole lot more challenging, but at the same time kind of easy. Just depends. And then also TK is so challenging for me. And I get it, it's a lot of simple stuff, but it's a lot more repetition for things that for things that should kind of be like automatic for everybody else that's already had a little bit more ages of life. But yeah, I get it, but I don't think TK is for me. I don't have so much patience. They're so cute, and I would rather watch over them than have like a group of them and teach them anything or tell them what to do, because it's just they either listen or they don't. And either they, as a stranger, they'll either listen to you or they won't. But anyways, why do I go off topic? Why do I go on tangent? Anyways, back to this first grade class. They are like really intelligent. And I'm not trying to degrade or anything, but they're like really, I guess, really socially intelligent is what I'm trying to say. And then there are like a good group of kids in that class that are like above and beyond, and then there's those kids that are still need extra support and whatnot. But also because I think like birthdays have a big thing to do with that. Some of these kids look really older than the other kids. Eventually I think they'll catch up. But anyway, there's this kid. I'll start talking about the stories. So first story, let's see which one. Okay, there's this boy. He always, every time I go stuff for another classroom or stuff for them, she's like, oh, hi, Miss J. And then it's the cutest thing ever, and it makes me feel like, oh, like somebody actually likes me. And his smile on his face every time he sees me, he's like, hi, Miss J. He's just like a really happy camper. And then there is all of their class, majority of them, oftentimes I'll say hi, but he'll like literally like pronounce his hello. And then there's okay, well, that kid yesterday, he had this spy pen, and it was actually borrowed from somebody else. And he was doing his work in this spy pen where you like has like it's just clear, like you can't even tell that he's writing anything until you put like the UV light on it. And so he was doing that, and then he came up to me. Sorry. And he was like, I'm done. And he shows me, and I'm like, no, you're not. And then he was like, yes, I am. And he's just smiling, and I was like, no, you're not done. And I knew he had this pen, and I was like, it went over my head. I didn't think that he would use it, especially him, because he's not going to keep that finishes quickly. And does their work in pencil and whatnot, and the right way, you know. So then I was like, no, you're not done. And then he was like, yes, I am. And he's just like smiling. He brings out the UV light, and he's like, yeah, see? And he shows me, and then I was like, oh, you tricked me. And I genuinely was tricked, and I was like, you fooled me, you got me. This is the only one you're gonna get away with, though, because if your teacher sees this, she's gonna get mad. And he kept doing it throughout the day, but I was like, I already told you, like, you can't do this. And he would just like giggle and whatnot. I was like, whatever. Like, I'm having fun, he's having fun. And I was like, you're just gonna have to show your teacher then that you actually did do the work, because it's clearly blank to the human eye. Number 2. Okay, there's this. Okay, also that kid, he was like, I want to recess. I don't want to go to recess. Miss M lets me stay inside. And then I was like, yeah, but you can't, like, you have to go and play. Or how about this? Like, I'll go in and I'll go to recess outside with you. And he was like, no, I want to stay inside. I was like, don't you have friends? Earlier today you were sharing about how many friends you had during share time. And then he was like, no, I don't have any friends. And I was like, and then so I went outside, and then I was like, okay, I'll go on, I'll sit down with you, like, it's fine. So I went outside, I sat down, and then there's all these kids owing recess where I sat down. And then he was like, he disappeared for a second. He went behind, and there was like bushes, and he brought me a flower. It was the cutest thing ever. And then he brought me like this. He went and he brought back a lavender stem, which I brought home, and I will show you. Okay, I kind of had to shift because my phone is gonna die. Anyways, look it. I mean, it was clearly alive yesterday, but it's, and my mom sat on it yet. Or was it me? No, my mom sat on it too. So, but it was so cute. He came up to me and he was like, and I was like, oh, is that for me? And then he was like, and I was like, oh, so cute. And then he went back, and then he brought me this big old thing, and I was like, you're gonna get in trouble, like, stop eating the flowers. And then and then he started saying, are you Indian? And I was like, no, I'm not Indian. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure, but it looks like it, right? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people think I'm Indian. And then he's like, but do you speak Indian? Or I don't know what language he said. I'm pretty sure he said it was Indian. I might have confused, but then I was like, oh, okay, how do you say hi? And then he told me, and he's like, can you say this? And then I tried it, and he was like, he was shocked. And then I was like, did I say it right? And he was like, it sounds like you do, it sounds like you do know the language. And then I was like, really? Is that good? And then he was like, yeah. It was like something like Saskura. Oh, Alexa, how do you say hi in Indian?
Okay, but which language do you want me to translate to?
Shoot.
Okay, but which language do you want me to translate to?
Pakistani?
Sorry, I don't speak Pakistani yet.
Never mind. Okay. I don't know then if Indian is not a language. That's what I thought. Type of Indian language. But anyways, you guys might be able to know if one of you guys is Indian. Then I asked him, how do you say flower? And then he was like, you say it like this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I repeated it, and then he was like, you got it. It sounds so good. And then I was like, and it made me want to learn. It makes me want to learn it now. Add it to my list of hobbies that I'm drowning in already. Like, see what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff to do. Okay, anyways, what I was saying, so Butte, I think it's Butte. He said Butte, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, Butte, and trying to remember it. And then I was like, trying to remember how to say hi, but I forgot. I asked him again after school, but I forgot again. Saskurai? I don't know. But it started with an S, and I'm pretty sure there was like a K sound or a K. Okay, and then I was like, oh, it sounds like you're saying beauty. And then he was like, yeah, it does. And then I was like, yeah. But anyways, I walked in. He was like, oh, can I go to my station now, like recess? And then I was like, yeah, go ahead, like go play. And I walked inside with 5 minutes left. What was I gonna go do inside? But anyways, I was gonna go hide this too. So I was like, if they see me with this, they're gonna like what the hell? And so I walked in with this, try to hide it a little bit, but then there was a teacher. One of the teachers, she's like, "Oh, you got gifted lavender. They must like you." So like, that was the funniest thing ever. Okay, so that happened with that kid. Let's see what else happened. There's another boy. There was another boy that he was like, I know how to do flips. And then I was like, oh, you do? And then he was like, yeah, wanna see? And then I was like, no, it's probably not a good idea to do it in here. And also, first of all, for safety reasons. Second of all, he could hit somebody else. Yeah, obviously safety reasons. Safety reasons. Second of all, I was curious, but I was gonna have him do a backflip. Third of all, I don't know what third of all was, but anyways, so he's like, yeah, I'll show you. He was at the carpet and he freaking did a big old flip, and he's like one of the taller first graders of the class, and he just threw his body, and I was so scared. I was like, no, don't do it in here. But he was like, he went for it and he flipped, and I just saw his body like on the ground. And I was just shocked. I was just like, and he was like, he got up quick and he was looking at me, and he's like, he's just staring at me. They're all looking at me, and I'm just like, dude. I was like, I said his name. I was like, dude, are you okay? Like, did you hit your head? And it looked like it hurt. And he was like, no, I didn't hit my head. I'm okay. You know, like in the bounce house, how you do like the flip? That's how he did it, as if it was a bounce house in there. I was just like, oh my god. And I was like, you scared me. Don't do that again. And then, later on that day, there was another kid. He's so sweet. He was like, I'm gonna become a back flipper. And then at first I was like, a back slipper? What is that? And then he was like, back flipper. And I was trying to figure out what the heck he was saying. Sometimes it's so hard to understand what they're saying, also because the class is so loud. So I'm just like, say it again, say it again. I feel like that sub. Like, so then I was like, say it again, say it again. And he was just like, a back flipper. And I was like, a back flipper? I'm thinking like literally a slipper. Like, why do you want to be a slipper? And then eventually when I got it, I was like, oh, he's making the connection with that flip he made earlier. And then what else? Okay, so that happened. Oh, there was another boy. Okay, so this boy, actually this boy and this other kid in that table, and another boy, they all are off task all the time. Every time that I go, they're off task. One of them wasn't there. And today they actually did their work, and I was so impressed. Well, one of them normally does his work and goofs around, but the other one, I was so shocked at how much he actually does know, because the past times that I have been there, it just seems like he doesn't register anything at all. Like, he won't copy anything down. He'll destroy the paper instead of like actually writing on it. And then yeah, for math, like he'll just rip out the pages, shred that thing, and then I'll see it on the ground later. But no, like, he was copying the sentence that I asked him to write. He wrote both of them, and in such good handwriting. I was like, I had never seen that from him before. And if anything, it wasn't this much. And I was like, 360 flip. And I was like so happy for him. Okay, so also the other boy eventually like wasn't as active as other times also, which I was like, oh my god, like what happened? I was impressed. And then so there was okay, the other boy that was sitting next to him, he was like he had pants in his backpack. And some kids take clothes, I guess, like for after school or whatever, after school program. Some stay. Others, accidents. Not first grade normally doesn't happen, but I mean, he said it was for after school. This is what I saw. I was like getting them to line up for recess, and then I saw his pants fall on the ground. And then I was like, whose pants are these? And then, well, I didn't say anything. I was just watching, and I was like, hopefully he realizes that he dropped his pants. And then, so he was like kind of cleaning, kind of grabbing his things, his jacket, and he saw his pants, and then he was like, oh, I dropped my pants. But don't worry, I didn't take them off. I promise. That was the cutest thing ever. And just, he has a bit of an accent, and he pronounced every single letter, every word so clearly and perfectly with an accent. And I was like, and just the fact that he said, but don't worry. What did he say? I forgot already. But don't worry, I'm wearing pants or something like that. Yeah. I dropped my pants. But I have my pants on. Don't worry. I left it at that, and he just kind of like smushed his pants into his like what is it called? His desk. And literally the pants were just hanging out. I don't know why I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And also, what else? Oh yeah, there was this other boy. Okay, in that same table. He came in with, okay, they give them pipe cleaners to like make creatures or like make crafts. And this boy came in the class with some brown pipe cleaners and green pipe cleaners, and they were made into this like animal. He comes up to me and is like, Mira, mira la mosca que hice. And then he came with it, and the little mosca had like the little nose. And then he came up to my and put it on my hand, and he was like pretending like it bit me. And then he's like feeding off of me. And I was like, these kids are the cutest. And then I was like, oh my god, see me, this is verde mosca. And then he showed me, and I was like, oh. I was like, I actually want to keep it. So basically, oh yeah, okay, translation. So, um, it's because he only talks Spanish, so that's how I remembered it in Spanish. So then he came and he was like, teacher, look what I have. I have a fly. I made a fly. And then I was like, oh, you made a fly? And he was like, yeah. And then he like, the fly had like green eyes and was like made with the brown pipe cleaners, and it had like the little poker thing. And so he came up to my hand and he put it on my hand, and he was like, "Sí, mira, chupa sangre," and it sucks up blood. And he was like pretending like it was sucking my blood, like. And then these kids, I love these kids. Their little personalities just made my day yesterday. And then yeah, that's what happened with him. And then there was this other kid. It was kind of funny. Okay, I didn't really understand the first part, but I walked by and this kid was like kind of sad with his head on this table, and I was like, oh, is he feeling sick? And then the girl sitting next to him, he was like, no, he's sad. He's sad because his dad didn't put him lunch. And then I was like, oh, your dad didn't put you lunch? And he was like, no, he didn't give me lunch or something like that, or he doesn't let me get lunch. What I understood was that his dad didn't put lunch in he didn't send him off to school with his lunch, basically, is what I understood. But it turns out, I think it was just the fact that his dad doesn't let him get school lunch. So I was like, oh, so you didn't eat lunch? And then he was like, yeah, I ate lunch, but I didn't get the school food. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. He's sad because he didn't get to eat at school. And then he was like, and I'm also sad. Sorry, excuse me. He said, and I'm also sad because my dad doesn't want to give me money. And then I was like, oh, he doesn't want to give you money? Why? And then he was like, because I'm too short. And then I was like, trying to hold in my leg. And I was like, oh, because you're short? And then he was like, yeah, he said I have to wait until I'm 14. And then I was like, 14 what? Oh, he said, until I'm 14 ages. And then I was like, 14 ages? And he was like, yeah, 14 years old. And then I was like, just the fact, I don't know, the fact that their vocabulary is not developed, but the fact that they try to find like other words is the cutest. Also, that same boy, last time that I was there, he was telling me that um he was telling me, what was he saying? Oh yeah, he was like, his tooth was hurting, and then I was like, oh, like, how bad does it hurt? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad does it hurt? And then he was like, it hurts like 1,000 pennies. And then I was just like, but I did feel bad because he was complaining about his tooth. But when I asked him like how bad it was, he was like, it hurts like 1,000 pennies. And and it's funny too because at recess I saw him dancing. He was like doing like he had like his hands up, and he had like the Falcon bucks, which basically are tickets they could exchange for prizes at some point. I saw him with the Falcon buck, and he was just like doing his little dance move. That actually reminded me. Last year I had them when they were in TK or K kindergarten, and that class was stressful that day. But remember him too. He was him and the boy with the pants. They were both in that class, and they were both coming up with like silly dance moves. And I think he said, "This is the worm." And I was like, "Oh, that is so cute." Like, I can see them as dancers, and he also has like the best attitude. Well, the best like a happy personality, like a really happy personality. So also him, like him and his little teeth, his little baby teeth. You see him, or like he's also like a little silly guy. And then I'll walk by and sometimes he'll be like, hi teacher, hi Miss J. And he's like one of the smaller kids of the class, like so he's like short and but he talks so well and is very expressive too. That's what I like about that class too. And there is shy kids in that class too, but they actually come out of their shell too. Actually, one of the shy kids wasn't there today. Shyer. I say shyer because in reality, they're all like, they wander around the classroom. They all do that. All of them. They talk. They ask questions. They're not afraid to ask anything, which is what I like about them. But I mean, like, the people that don't talk as much, you know? The ones that are stay at their desk or like aren't like loud is what I mean. But anyways, also I forgot I had to go to work today. Anyways, also, what else? So yeah, that happened. And also, yeah, one of the sweet boys, one of the sweet boys. I mean, one of the boys that is like the quieter ones, he was actually doing some of his work too. And I was shocked. And I was like, he doesn't do this much. And then he needs more one-on-one help, but because there's so many of them, I can't sit there and just help him. Although I try to. Let's see what else. This other girl too. Oh yeah, and a little girl showed up to class yesterday, and she showed up with her bangs cut, and I don't know if she cut it herself. At first, I didn't realize it, but eventually, when I stood in front of them, I saw that her bangs were very short. I think it might have been her, but when other kids started asking her about her bangs, she said that her mom did it, which I don't think her mom did that, because her hair was like cut right here, and then it was like one long strand, and then it was like cut and it was like crooked. Like they were extremely close to like the edge, the root of the hair. And everybody was asking her, and then I was like, okay, you guys, like, attention up here, like trying to detract from her hair, because at one point she did cover it up, and then I was like, you need to take it off, like the hood. But I didn't know she was covering her hair. I felt bad. I didn't know. Okay. And I probably should have talked to her too, like, about it, like, hey, it's okay. It's okay, don't worry about it. Like, it'll grow back or whatever, because she did seem like it was embarrassing her. I feel so bad, but there's like so much going on all the time, every 5 seconds or something. And if I get distracted by one thing, or like if I pay attention to one thing, then everybody else thinks it's okay to like go crazy, you know? So I just try to like move the class along. But anyways, that's it. That's about it. That's everything that happened pretty much yesterday. But yeah, it was a good day. Let's see what else happened. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it now. Because I do have to get ready for work. I have a work in an hour, which I don't want to go. I think I'm just gonna spend my time on that thing. Yeah, I haven't done that for like 2 days, and my mind is going nuts. I am losing it, like literally. That's an addiction. But if I don't do it, I feel like I'm not gonna actually. Okay. Also, one more thing. There was somebody that commented that I need what's the word? I needed to have it's either an R word or a D word. I need to be disciplined. Yeah. One second. Okay, so yeah, basically, Michael Edwards. Oh, sorry, Michael Edwards, 190. That's who the comment came from. Which also, thank you by the way for commenting. It says you have passion, but you need discipline to focus on 1 or 2 things at a time. By the way, that's a really good drawing. Okay, you need discipline to focus on 1 or 2 things at a time, which is awesome. Thanks for the advice. That is what I have been trying to do. I have put it in my head that yes, that is true. That is totally true. So that's why those 2 days that I did not touch that, I feel like I have to make up for it, and it's like, yeah, I couldn't one day, and the other day we had a visitor that stayed over. My uncle came to visit, so I couldn't really do anything, you know. Or was that 3 days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it was 3 days. I couldn't really do anything. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I need to discipline myself with 1 or 2 things. It's that, and drawing, and also making videos. And when I say videos, I mean like specific videos. Like I'll pick one thing, or I'll have an idea, and then I'll collect the videos. And this is mainly for like Instagram, like my art, and some other content creation that I'm trying to do, like shorter videos for Instagram. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Every now and then, but that one takes a little bit more time because I actually have to collect videos, or I have to dig through my videos to see what goes where and whatever. But long story short, the point is that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm continuing to do. That's why I'm leaving. Okay? Because I got to discipline myself. Okay? And I'll let you guys know how that goes. Capiche? Alright. Also thank you for 130 of you. I am shook by the amount of subscribers. Thanks.